going on, guys? We are back again today with another Aura's OU Wi-Fi battle. Today I have a battle against Danbo. This battle was on my stream. Yes, I'm using Mega Lopunny again. I know. Why do you keep using Mega Lopunny? I know. But I've sent the sets off that I need for each and every other one of the Megas that I haven't used yet, so I should be getting those sometime soon. He's going to lead off with Ferrothorn, which is an appropriate lead because I led off with a Ferrothorn of my own. Except, you know, we're just kind of gotta sit back and do our own thing. We're both gonna set up rocks here. It's well, he's gonna set up rocks and I'm gonna set up spikes. We're both gonna be setting up hazards, so that's the thing. Except I like running spikes over stealth rocks, at least on Ferrothorn, because you're gonna be able to stay in, get some spikes off, or do whatever you need to do. But it's perfect for me because he's going out into this thing, and Blastoise isn't the greatest thing that you're going to want to be switching into a Ferrothorn. Yeah, you get Aura Sphere. Yeah, you can do some damage, but you're not going to be killing it anytime soon, especially if you're not Mega and you're not getting the ability. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Something Launcher, something, I don't know. But Mega Blastoise gets an ability that boosts moves that are Pulse moves like Dark Pulse, or Sphere moves like Aura Sphere and that sort of thing. But I'm going to go for Leech Seed, get my seed off on that man. That sounded way too long, and I probably should have not have said that, but he's going to go for Scald. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my spikes up while I can, because why not? If he goes for Rapid Spin, he is going to have to hit me, and he is going to be taking Iron Barbs damage. And if I can sit here and kind of stall him out a little bit with the Leech Seed and Protect and Iron Barbs kind of deal, then this Blastoise is going to be dying fairly quickly. Now, the only attacking move I have on this thing is, of course, Gyro Ball, but it's not going to be doing too much to that Blastoise, because Blastoise, 1, isn't fast, and 2, is a water type, so it's going to be resisted as well. But, like I said, a combination of Protect and Iron Barbs and Leech Seed are all going to be taking down that Blastoise fairly quickly, so even though he is going to Rapid Spin here and get rid of all my spikes, that's fine, because he's going to be taking Iron Barbs damage, which is going to pretty much do the same amount that Leech Seed is going to be doing. But, if you guys didn't know, Rapid Spin actually takes the Leech Seed off of you. It's a good way to get rid of, you know, Leech Seed and any hazards that are out on the field, whether they're spikes, stealth rocks, or webs. They're all going to be gone with the Rapid Spin. But I do end up getting off the Leech Seed just so I can get a little bit of health back before he ends up switching out. He's going to go on to KitchenAid now, which is this Bisharp. And I'm kind of scared of this thing because sometimes they do run low kick, but he, like again, he is going to be taking some little life orb. What am I saying? Some Iron Barbs damage. If I could speak and narrate, that would be amazing. But I'm going to go for Leech Seed on the second turn here, because why not? I already got a layer of spikes up. That's good enough for me right now. And Leech Seed will always be nice and amazing, because why not? And he's going to sit here and he's just going to plus up. He's going to go all the way till he's +6. And I am completely fine with that, because I have things that I can do to deal with this thing. And especially since he's Leech Seeded and already gotten himself up to +4, he's very unlikely to want to switch out very easily. Now, of course, that is to say he can't, but usually when you spend a lot of time, especially getting up to +6, you're not going to want to switch out. It's just not something that a lot of people will do, and it's something that you'll see a lot of, not necessarily beginner, but amateur players do, is they'll get all the way up to +6 and then they won't switch out regardless of what situation they're in. And you know, it's something that they need to learn. Like, getting up to +6 isn't something you need to do. You don't need to get up to +6, because there's way too many risks involved in doing that. Now, if you get up for +6 for free, and then you can go and sweep their old team, by all means, go and do that if you can. But you have to know when too much is too much and when enough is enough. But he ends up taking out my Zapdos with the Iron Head, which is super unfortunate. I thought that I might be able to live, but obviously that is not going to be happening. I'm going to go to my Lopunny, and I am just going to go for the Fake Out. One, to get a little bit of damage off and to stall him out an extra turn, and to get some Leech Seed back from the Stealth Rocks that I ended up having to take when switching my Lopunny in. And now, since I'm a fighting type, even though he does have Stealth Rocks up on the field, I'm going to be taking a lot less damage from the Stealth Rocks because I am a fighting type and I do resist it. But I'm going to go out into my Heatran now, predicting another Iron Head, and he ran quad resist Iron type moves, so I should be able to eat up any Iron type moves if he decided to go for the Iron Head there. And he obviously went for the Sucker Punch because he didn't want to take a high jump kick to the face. So he ran it sitting nice and pretty. That Bisharp on the other end, however, is not doing so well. And I'm digging it. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna go for Protect on this next turn just to see what he wants to do. He ends up going for Iron Herb, which is kind of weird. I don't know if he was predicting a switch there or what, but Knockoff is definitely going to be his next best play if he decides to do anything. But for whatever reason, he decides to stay in and go for Iron Head. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe he thought he could flinch me. I don't know. But he's going to end up killing himself to Life Orb. So I don't know. It's kind of strange that he would decide to go for Iron Head instead of going for Knockoff. Knockoff would have definitely have killed me. But then again, you know, he might have been predicting a switch. I don't know. I don't know why he did that. But he's going to go out into the Dragonite now. I am super duper scared of this thing, but I'm going to be real and predict him to go for Dragon Dance instead of going for Earthquake on the very first turn. And I'm going to stay in and go for Toxic. And what Toxic allows me to do is pretty much permanently get rid of his multi-scale. There's not going to be a single turn now where he is, at the end of it, completely at full HP and going to be able to, you know, have that multi-scale boost. But I'm going to go for Protect on this next turn here just to see what he wants to do. If he wants to go for Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, or whatever, but he ends up going for another Dragon Dance, which is super unfortunate for me because I could have attacked on that turn and gotten a little bit more damage off with Lava Plume. Although Lava Plume is resisted and it wouldn't have done very much, it still would have been stacking upon that toxic damage and doing more and more every turn. So it's unfortunate that I wasted my Protect there. Now I kind of am forced to switch out and go into something else because I cannot take an Earthquake. So my best bet is going out into my Latios here to avoid the Earthquake. Now I'm not Choice Scarf, so I am going to be able to be hit with a Dragon Claw and possibly an E-Speed, but that's okay because I do have something I can switch out into to absorb the incoming Dragon type move, whether it's Outrage and or Dragon Claw, because I have an Azumarill, and Azumarill is very powerful. It's Fairy type, obviously, so you can't even be hit with Dragon type moves. There's no need to run a Steel type on every team because there's Fairy typing now. So I'm going to switch out. I have a feeling he's going to go for Earthquake, so I'm going to go back out into my Latios here. Playing lots of mind games here. It's kind of what you have to do when you're at a disadvantage, but he actually ends up going for the E-Speed, and that is definitely going to be taking my Latios out as he is +2. So I tried to play some mind games. He eventually caught on, and I was unable to continue playing the mind games, but that is as to be expected. You know, you can't sit there and try to play mind games forever. Eventually, you're going to have to mix it up a little bit or try something else or just let something die because you can't always do that. But I'm out in my Ferrothorn. He kind of has no choice. He is going to have to hit me one way or the other, so he actually ends up going for the E-Speed just to get some damage off. I don't know, Earthquake would have been better in my opinion, but you do what you do. If I could speak. I'm super tired, guys. I'm sorry. But went for Spikes just to go ahead and get those off. He's going to go out into Darwin, which is his Blastoise over here. And what he's actually going to do here is what you can expect to see some beginners do. He went for Rapid Spin, and that's perfectly fine. But if you Rapid Spin and you die to either Iron Barbs or Rough Skin, I'm not entirely sure about Life Orb. I think Life Orb still goes through. But if you die to Iron Barbs or Rough Skin, you don't actually clear the field of hazards. You're not spinning away rocks, you're not spinning away spikes, you're not spinning away sticky webs or toxic spikes. If you die using Rapid Spin and you die to Iron Barbs or Rough Skin, you don't clear the field. That is something that you guys need to know, and it's something that I see some people do. I don't see it very often, but I have uploaded battles in the past where I've seen people do it. And, you know, it's something that you wouldn't really think about, but it is something that happens. And I see a lot of people do it, unfortunately. But he goes out into his Ferrothorn. I cannot touch this thing with my Ferrothorn, and I assume that he can't touch me either. But he actually goes for Leech Seed, predicting me to switch, which is a great play. Had I stayed in, I obviously am a Grass type and can't be seeded, but there is no real reason for me to stay in if I can't do anything. So going out to Heatran is my best bet. Unfortunately, you know, I'm going to be taking Leech Seed damage, but I do have leftovers, so it is going to be negating it a little bit. but he is going to be gaining a lot of HP back in return. He's going to switch out here, go out into Rosetta Stone, which is his Landorus, and Landorus is one of the most annoying Pokemon in my opinion. I freaking hate this thing, but I'm going to go ahead and go for Stealth Rocks just to get all of my hazards out on the field, because every time something switches in and switches out, they're going to be taking Stealth Rocks damage. And if they don't have Levitate and they're not a flying type, they're going to be taking the Spikes damage, so that's even better. But he's going to go stay in and go for Knockoff. It's one of those things where more mind games. I decided to stay in. He predicted a switch and went for Knockoff instead of going for Earthquake. So it's one of those things where you just kind of have to assess your opponent up to that point in the battle, and if they think, you just got to determine whether or not you can predict them or not. If you don't think you can predict them, then definitely don't stay in on Pokemon that you need. But if you're able to predict them, do that sort of thing and take risks. You gotta take risks to really get anywhere. And if you're not taking risks, you're not gonna have any fun with Pokemon. So it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to explain if you haven't experienced it yet. But as you play more and more, especially if you get on Showdown, you'll start to see that sort of thing, not only from your opponent, but you'll start to see yourself do it some too. But I'm going to go on my Ferrothorn now. Ferrothorn is a pretty decent wall to Landorus now, so he's kind of forced to switch out here. And he goes out into his Toothpick of his own, and here is where you're going to start seeing the Stealth Rocks and the Spikes really start to stack up. There's the Spikes, there's the Stealth Rocks. Now, it isn't much, but it is... it is a decent amount every time he's going to be switching in and switching out. And he is not the Leftovers variant. He's actually the Rocky Helmet variant. So he's not going to be getting that extra health back every turn from Leftovers, where I am going to be getting that health back. He's going to go out into Galadriel, which I would assume is the Spanish name for Gardevoir, but who knows? It could just be a name that he made up. I don't know. But he's going to copy my Iron Barbs, which actually kind of sucks, because if he stays regular Gardevoir and I hit him with a physical type move, I'm actually going to be taking that Iron Barbs damage. So that kind of sucks, but he's actually going to end up Mega Evolving, which is fine with me, because there isn't really anything he can hit me with other than Focus Blast, and I'm fairly certain that I can live with Focus Blast. He's going to go for Shadow Ball, going to try and get a special defense drop on me. He actually does get the Spidef drop, which is super unfortunate for me, but I am going to be able to get a Leech Seed off. So I'm going to get a little bit of health back this turn, and then I assume that I'm going to go for Protect on the next turn just to get some health back and to get some more damage off on him. So getting some Leech Seed, and then we're just going to kind of wait for him to, see what he wants to do. He's going to, I don't Protect this next turn. Goes ahead and goes for another Shadow Ball. And as you can see, got a crit there and another special defense drop, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to go for a Gyro Ball here just to finish this thing off while I can. And that is going to be bye-bye to that Gardevoir. Now, that critical hit did not matter. Gardevoir is way too fast and way too weak to Steel types for that to really have, that crit to have been worth anything. So that crit didn't matter. He's going to go out to Rosetta Stone now. I'm not too scared of this thing. Now, I am -2 special defense, but I'm still where I'm at regular defensive-wise. Excuse me. Of course, my attack is down, but I'm going to go ahead and go for Protect. Not only one, to scout to see what he wants to do, but two, to also get some HP back with the Leftovers here as well. So he's going to take some Toxic damage, and then he's going to go for U-turn. So he's going to be also taking some Iron Barbs damage as well from hitting me, and I'm going to be eating that U-turn up, and the Iron Barbs is going to be hitting him. So he's going to go back. I can't remember what his last couple of mons are. Yes. The Ferrothorn. One of the most annoying Pokemon still to date. Ferrothorn is one of the most annoying Pokemon that I have ever encountered. I'm going to go for Leech Seed. Obviously, not going to be doing anything. He did switch, so it was a turn that I used when I switched, but now he's going to switch it back out, go out into his Landorus, because there isn't really anything he can do, but this is great for me, because he is going to be taking Stealth Rocks damage on his Landorus every time he switches in, and he's going to be taking Spikes and Stealth Rocks every time on his Ferrothorn every time that thing switches in. But I go for Protect, as he does end up switching out into his Landorus, which is fine by me, because he is going to be taking Toxic damage for switching that thing in, and Toxic damage is Toxic damage, and that is going to be helping me out. Of course, I'm going to go for another Protect. Now, the first Protect, when he switched, it failed, so that it allows me to go ahead and go for another one. Even though it's technically using it the same turn in a row twice, but since the first one failed, it just lets you use it again, which is super nice. So he's going to take some more poison damage. He's going to go for Earthquake here. I'm pretty sure that I live this. I do end up living with about 8 HP, and I get off a Leech Seed, which is perfect, because Leech Seed is nice and bueno. And he, after Leech Seed and Toxic damage, that is going to be the death of that Landorus. So while we wait for this turn to go by, I think he actually forfeits. This is turn 36 out of 36 turns, so I assume that he forfeits here, and that's a good game because there isn't really anything unless he dies to the spikes in the Stealth Rocks. I can't remember. Oh, yep. Okay. So, see, that's how powerful hazards can be. Now, don't go out and run Stealth Rocks, 3 layers of spikes and 2 layers of toxic spikes, because that, 1 is going to take you a long time to set up, but 2 is, you know, they're more than likely going to have a spinner. They're more than likely going to have a defogger or both or one of each or whatever. So don't go and run like all the hazards in the world. This team just ended up having spikes and Stealth Rocks on it. So it ended up working out fairly well for me because the residual damage every turn was helping out a lot. And the fact that his Blastoise killed himself when he was going for Rapid Spin and he died to the Iron Barbs kind of gave me the upper hand because he wasn't able to clear the field. So that helped me out a lot. Like I said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it. If you didn't like it so much, you know, leave a dislike. But let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Let me know what Mega you guys want me to see. You want me to use next. You want to see. Why can't I say this? Let me know what Mega you want to see me use next. There we go. That's exactly how that should have been worded. I know for a fact I haven't used Sharpedo, Glalie, Audino. I doubt I'll use Audino in a Aura's Wi-Fi battle, but maybe in a VGC battle if I ever decide to upload one of those. And I think that's it. I don't know, I'm sure there's some others that I'm missing, but... Oh, I haven't used Mega Pidgeot either. Oh well. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm super tired. I'm probably going to go sleep or something now. But anyways, we'll see you again tomorrow. Peace out.